So tell me, which one is better? This or this? This or this? This or this? Okay, last one. This or this? Picking a side is all well and good, but it's unnecessary. With North Carolina's Crystal Coast, it's not inshore or offshore. It's the whole damn thing. This is North Carolina's Crystal Coast. So is this. And this. And this. The Crystal Coast was molded by a mix of people. Pirates, soldiers, scallywags, fishermen, explorers, and forged in a furnace of war and industry. It's a place of many faces, as hospitable to casual travelers as it is to hardcore sportsmen. The Crystal Coast is a chain of down-home towns covering 85 miles of coastline and barrier island. It reaches from Cape Carteret to the west to Cape Lookout to the east. Scientist, radio host, avid angler, Richard Aaron Coffer, known locally as Dr. Bogus, has been a Crystal Coast staple for 20 years.
I like to target trout, drum, and flounder. In the spring, we also get some big bluefish in here, which was very fun catching them on light tackle. My favorite fish is red drum. I really enjoy fishing for red drum. I haven't caught a one this year. Offshore, wahoo, dolphin, has been outstanding. They had the Blue Marlin tournament here in the end of June. They caught very nice fish the last several years. The billfish bite has been terrific here. The Maritime Museum in Beaufort is really a cool place. They have lots of really neat stuff there. They have that skeleton of the sperm whale or something that's hanging up there. That's really neat.
One of the things that's most important about maritime history for this area, but also for the maritime history of North Carolina itself, is that essentially up until certainly the 1840s, so that's 200 years or so, the most efficient way to get around the state was by water. It was a great place for piracy, and it's why we have 5,000 or more shipwrecks off this coast, because there's lots of ships. So you'll have a lot of shipwrecks where there's a lot of shipping.
To understand the two sides of Crystal Coast's fishery, you need two things: an inshore guy and an offshore guy. The Crystal Coast. Two different worlds, inshore and offshore. How do you take your water? Skinny or deep? Green or blue? First, the inshore guy, Captain Noah Link, owner and operator of Noah's Ark fishing charters based out of Harker's Island. Born and raised in Hawaii, he came to North Carolina in his early teens.
A lot of people are after the big ones, you know. To me, I'm after numbers. I like to catch numbers. I'm not after that trophy fish myself. Even flounder, trout, anything. I like to catch the fish. Some people, they want to go out and fish all day for a great big one. I'd rather catch 30 nice fun fish.
As Noah departs Cape Point Marina en route to Shark Island, let's take stock of gear and equipment. Skinny waters or deep in the blue, the Yellowfin 24 Bay has all the versatility needed. For speed and power, the Mercury 350 Verado is the outboard of choice. The Simrad NSS 12 Evo 3 delivers HD structure scan and broadband sonar through its 12-inch multi-touch display. From sun to storm, Yeti's rough and tumble gear handles any situation. Frozen at minus 30 degrees for color and vacuum sealed, Baitmasters serves up top-notch bait across the world. Penn was founded in 1932. There's a reason for that. Tackle that's built to last. A polarized view with Costa sunglasses is a must, made tough and durable while cutting haze and blur for greater clarity on the water. A custom fiberglass replica by King Sailfish Release Mounts captures your trophy catch down to the finest detail.
They'll get right along these edges, yep. Like if you were to hook one of these on your popping cork and it break and he'd still be on it, that cork could go right back into the grass. These drum they'll just cruise this grass, catching it as it falls out. Yes, sir. The estuary, this is where everything's raised up, all the little shrimp. I mean, they come in the inlet and this is where they come to grow up if they don't get eaten first.
Redfish can be found year-round in the Crystal Coast, most commonly in the shallow marsh creeks where they spawn. Noah's honey holes remain a secret, in part because they're difficult to reach.
Certain places, you don't slow down. You know, certain places I run, I might have to get through 200 yards of 7-inch water, but there's no way I'm slowing down going through there. If I slow down, I'm done.
Noah's rig keeps it simple: a live shrimp and a popping cork.
If you properly manage the resource, the population can recover. A fish like the speckled trout can spawn after their first year or so. Other fish, like the red drum, can't. They don't reproduce until they're 5 years old, maybe. And the biggest breeders are the ones that are, well, you see, there's some pictures up here. That fish probably was, I don't know, 40 pounds or something. But those are the big breeders. You can't keep anything over 27 inches.
The local redfish population had been dwindling in recent years, but smart changes to fisheries management have turned the tide.
I was born and raised here in Beaufort. My name is Kyle Swain, and I actually used to ride skateboards up and down this street when I was a kid. Never thought I'd be in here.
The Blue Moon Bistro in Beaufort is the Crystal Coast's contribution to the growing localvore movement. But here, it's as much tackle to table as it is farm to fork.
I love what the area has to offer. The waters are extremely pristine and clean. So we're able to get all these local products right at our back door and our doorstep and pass those on to both locals and tourists and visitors alike. There's a turnaround time of the fish actually being in its natural environment swimming to the kitchen where it's going to be prepared of less than 12 hours. So we're pretty proud to be able to offer that product. Eat up, guys. Happy eat, man. Have a bite.
Out on the shoals of Shark Island, Noah chases one of the area's most popular and aggressive species. Noah heads out to the shoals off Shark Island, where the swell packs a wallop.
We're probably right now several miles from shore, from the demarcation line, so we're out in the ocean a little bit.
You're so rousing. You're so keen, you must have hung the moon.
Bait and everything just gets on these rocks really good. The fishing is just outstanding out here.
And you're so selfless. And you're so sweet, have them coming soon.
From the Outer Banks to the Crystal Coast, North Carolina offers arguably the best blue fishing there is.
But I'm so hot, stone down that I never even stopped to hear your tune.
Bluefish create excitement because from the time they're small snappers, they feed like piranha. A blue's biting power is notorious, easily cutting a live bait in half.
And it's shallow out here, nice and shallow.
But then love, maybe I'm just too scared of you.
From bay boat to sport fisher, a changing of the guard. Casey Wagner, the offshore guy. Morehead City native, captain, board member of the Big Rock Blue Marlin Tournament, an event he won in 2014. owner of Inspiration, a 55-foot Jarrett Bay, the family vacation home at the end of the dock.
My son is the first mate on it and always has been. I bought this boat when he was 13 years old and started teaching him how to mate. I have 2 daughters and both of them love to fish. All of them have caught blue marlins, white marlins, sailfish. We try to get together and fish as much as we can. As everybody's getting older, it's a little bit harder because jobs and schedules and trying to get everybody together. But we still work hard to get everybody on the boat together. I love it here mainly because of the water, and I think there's so many different varieties of water here. There's a lot of places to go, a lot of places you go in small boats, big boats. At certain times of the year, I can wake up in the morning and you can literally decide what you want to do that day. Do I want to go drum fishing? Do I want to go trout fishing, catch sailfish or wahoo offshore? And I think certainly one of the coolest things is to be able to walk off the end of your dock and get in your boat and go catch a blue marlin. Now that's a pretty unique thing. Just all of the things that you can do in a boat and the areas that you can access.
Tomorrow morning, Casey, his son Cole, and family will head 50 miles offshore. And then it's lines in. Inspiration heads southeast, a waypoint set for 50 miles out. Yellowfin tuna feed in packs, and encounters usually result in multiple hookups. Rigger clips pop, lines come tight, rods bend like the St. Louis Arch. But first, you gotta find the right water temp. The slightest variance, 1/10 of a degree, can make all the difference. So does the right bait. In this case, ballyhoo does the trick. Father on the bridge, son in the cockpit. They make a great team, and the fish box shows it.
I saw him eat that teaser right there. He was...
Nice. Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
Crystal Coast is an accommodating chameleon, taking on the color and shape of whatever you prefer. A patchwork quilt of landscapes, ecosystems, and personalities. Somehow, it has a lot of a little bit of everything.